So, what if you could install a brand new operating system for your brain? One that helps you just cut through all the noise and make radically better decisions. Well, today we're going to build that exact toolkit. We're talking about mental models. I mean, it's a super frustrating experience, right? You've got all the information, you think you're being totally logical, and yet you end up choosing a path that just leads to regret. Why does this keep happening to us? Well, the culprit is often our own brain's default programming. See, to save energy, our minds create these little shortcuts. You've probably heard of them, cognitive biases. A classic one is confirmation bias, where we just hunt for information that proves what we already believe. These shortcuts, they feel efficient, but man, they are often deeply flawed, and they lead us right down the wrong path. But what if we could override those flawed shortcuts? What if we had a reliable set of tools that could bring some real clarity and structure to our thinking, especially when the stakes are high? Well, we do. They're called mental models, and honestly, the best way to think of them is like simple, powerful frameworks for your thinking. They're like different lenses that help you see the world not just as it appears, but as it actually works. So let's unpack a few of the core models you can start using, like today. All right, our toolkit starts with first principles thinking. Now, most of us, we reason by analogy. We say, well, we'll do it this way because that's how it's always been done. This model, though, it forces you to act more like a physicist. You break a problem all the way down to its absolute fundamental truths, and then you build your solution back up from there. And this is where it gets incredibly practical. By questioning every single assumption, you can totally innovate from the ground up. I mean, think about how Elon Musk rethought rocket manufacturing with SpaceX. It's also your ultimate defense against the danger of just going along with the crowd. Okay, so if first principles thinking is all about taking things apart, our next model, systems thinking, is about putting them all back together. It's about seeing the entire ecosystem, the whole forest, not just the individual trees. You're really looking for how all the different parts connect and influence one another. And this is so crucial because actions rarely, if ever, happen in isolation. A change in one area can create these totally unexpected ripples somewhere else. But by understanding the whole system, you can find that one key leverage point. The smallest tweak that creates the biggest positive impact. Okay, so we've got models for understanding a problem, but what about our solutions? Well, that's where second-order thinking is absolutely essential. It's this simple but really profound discipline of thinking beyond the immediate result and asking one crucial question. And then what? You see, a first-order decision is to cut costs to boost this quarter's profits. Easy, right? But the second-order consequence, well, that could be lower product quality, unhappy customers, maybe even a damaged brand. This model helps you see that entire chain of dominoes before you tip the first one over. Now, a fantastic partner to second-order thinking is opportunity cost. Every single choice you make, every hour you spend on something, it has an invisible price tag, and that's the value of the next best thing you gave up to do it. This model really forces you to be deliberate. Because think about it, every yes to one project is an implicit no to literally countless others. So by consciously thinking about the opportunity you're giving up, you make sure your most valuable resources, your time, your money, your energy, are spent on what truly matters most. Okay, so far we focused on finding the right path forward. But what about avoiding the wrong path entirely? Our next model, Inversion, is a super powerful risk assessment tool because it just flips the script. Instead of asking, how do I succeed? You ask, what could absolutely guarantee that I fail? It's such a powerful shift because it's often way easier to figure out what not to do. By imagining failure and listing out all the potential pitfalls, you can build defenses against them right from the start, and that creates a far more robust plan. And we can pair inversion with our final model, probabilistic thinking. Because look, the world is rarely black and white, so this model pushes us to stop thinking in certainties and start thinking in odds. What are the actual chances this will succeed or fail? So instead of asking, will this work, you ask, what are the chances this will work? It's a subtle shift, but it allows you to make way better bets, manage risk more effectively, and stay flexible, always updating your beliefs as new information comes in. It's really about being less certain and more accurate. Okay, I know, that was a lot of theory, but these models are totally useless unless you actually use them. The good news is you can start building this mental muscle with a really simple 5-minute daily practice. The goal here is to move these tools from conscious effort to just automatic habit. And the really good news, it doesn't have to be complicated at all.
Here it is, a simple 5-step process. So whenever you're facing a decision, doesn't matter if it's big or small, just walk through this. 1, define the problem. 2, pick a model, maybe it's inversion or second-order thinking. 3, analyze the situation through that lens. 4, actively challenge your own biases. And then 5, make your call. Seriously, 5 minutes a day is all it takes to get started.
And at the end of the day, this isn't just about making better business decisions or winning arguments. It's really about something much, much more fundamental. And this, right here, this is the ultimate takeaway. The clarity you bring to your problems and the foresight you apply to your choices, these things, they compound over time to shape the very life you lead. So think clearly, think deeply, and think differently. So, I'll leave you with one final question. Looking at this toolkit we've just unpacked, which one of these models is going to be the first one you try on a problem that you're facing right now?